In this video, we're going to talk about 3 reasons why people fail as online coaches. Not necessarily a fun subject, but it's an important subject because you might be falling victim of these things, and we're going to help you get past that so that you can be successful as an online coach. The number one reason that comes to mind is just having clarity on who you're going to serve. Oftentimes people think when they want to be an online coach, they don't always go a little bit further and go, who am I actually going to coach, right? Is it going to be men? Is it going to be women? Is it both? Is it people in relationships? Are they single? Are they married? You can really define when you think about who you're going to serve. You go a little bit further and go, how am I going to serve them? Am I going to be helping people with their health? Am I going to be helping people with their wealth? Am I going to be helping people with their relationships, whether it's an internal relationship with themselves or the relationships that they have with others in their personal lives, or perhaps relationships in their professional lives? You really need to spend some time to get a little bit of clarity. And the reason you want to pause and understand the clarity is it's going to help you understand how to speak to those individuals. Right? We're not here to serve everyone. Not everyone has a quote problem that we can actually help them with. We've got to understand who is it that we're helping and what are those problems that they have so we can start speaking to those narratives, because then those people will hear us speak when we're creating our content, whether it's video content, audio with a podcast or social post, and they go, that's me, I need help. And we can start to resonate with them with that mental dialogue that's already going on in their head. So number one, get clarity on who you're going to serve, how you're going to serve them. Number two, and this one affects more people than I believe realize, myself included, especially whenever you're building out your business, is the shiny object syndrome. I can't tell you how often, and I'm guilty of this more times than once, is we keep chasing what's that next idea? What's the next thing that I need to help my business grow? And so we're going from course to course, book to book, webinar to webinar, info to info, app to app, hack to hack, tool to tool. Does that sound familiar at all to you? Where you're bouncing around all over the place, which it's kind of fun, it's exciting. Here's what's happening though. You're not finishing any of them. You're not actually following through to get the results or the impact of the other things you quote started and never finished. You've got that shiny object like the ooh, the ah, and you keep bouncing around making little to no impact whatsoever. And it's hard because marketers are great. And so you see things like, oh, I need that. Do you need it right now? Is now the time for that? Right now, you need to work on what are the 1 to 2 things for your business today that you need to work on. And once you get those done and you actually can see results from there, move on to the next. Does that make sense? So you have to kind of slow down to speed up and say no to the courses that look interesting to you, that pull you away from the ones you haven't even finished or applied to your business. Because what happens is you get distracted, you get divided, and you start going 10 plus different directions, which often means you're not going any direction at all. So shiny object syndrome is the number 2. The number 3 thing, and this has to deal sometimes a lot with a little bit of confidence, it's understanding you're going to have to launch imperfectly, because perfection is a myth, right? And what often happens is you spend time trying to get things just right, and get things just complete, get things just done before you actually make a sale, offer a sale, present an opportunity for someone to do business with you. And if you don't have the doors open, the lights on, no one can do business with you. And the longer you wait, the longer your impact is to be made, because no one's able to take action on it. And so you've got to learn with to be comfortable not being perfect. Get started, perfect things as you go, because you're going to pivot and tweak no matter what. I promise you, if you spend 3 months getting ready or 3 years, you're going to make changes regardless. And it's never going to be quote ready. There's always going to be little micro adjustments you'll make along the way. So what can happen is, think of it like this. You're always going to be quote in creation mode, right? So you'll create and fulfill. As you're creating your solutions, make fulfillment part of that process. So you're creating the opportunity and start inviting people in to take action on it. If it makes you feel more comfortable, a way of doing that is you can do like early bird specials, promo, beta groups, things of that nature, if it makes you feel a little bit more comfortable. But you've got to start launching imperfectly. Think of it like this. If you're climbing to the mountaintop, right? Like we're climbing Everest, there's summits along the way. You don't jump to the end, perfection at the end. You're going to make stops along the way. And depending what Mother Nature has in store for you, i.e. life, right, and God's divine plans for us all, you might have to make some pivots. And so if you're waiting for perfection, you don't ever get a chance to pivot accordingly. And the result is there is no result. There's no result for you. There's no result for the people that you're meant to serve. So just start getting started and remove the fear. And I say this, I know I say it's easier said than done. being scared of judgment, because really judgment is the feedback system. People give you feedback and you can make pivots along the way. All right. The things that I'm doing now in business are not the things I started doing. And I can promise and guarantee you the things that I'm doing today will be different than how I'm doing them next year. They'll be done in a different way because based on what I know and the results that I've gotten for others and the feedback I've got, i.e. what some might call judgment, you make pivots along the way. And so you can learn how to better serve those that you're meant to serve in your coaching business. So just a quick recap is just realizing that get clarity on who it is you want to serve. Avoid the shiny object syndrome. Have a commitment to complete your courses so you can get the results before you move on to the next, because you just get distracted. And be comfortable launching imperfectly. So I'm kind of curious with that. Do you currently have a profitable coaching business, or have you thought about starting a coaching business? Because if you need help and you've got kind of questions on directions and clarity, that's definitely what we do. See all the value that we have to offer at our website. It's at movementformula.com. I invite you to take a look, because we empower coaches to make their world-changing movements without being tied down to the tech burdens that often get faced. We help them automate and scale their business at movementformula.com.